Hi everyone and welcome to my recent game collecting video of April and May of 2023, and this time it's going to be a little shorter video because there's only 3 games this time, but I've always wanted to make these videos more frequently, so I would actually be talking about recent games and not about like few months old games already. And it's been almost 2 months since my previous upload, so maybe it's finally time to make some new video. But anyway, let's start with the April releases, starting with Akiba's Trip to Director's Cut, which I got as this huge and nice 10th anniversary edition. So Akiba's Trip, if you're not familiar with the series, it takes place in Akihabara, which is real location in Japan. So it's quite fun for someone like me who has never visited Japan but always wanted. It's fun to see some real locations in games, especially because how much detail there has been put with like real stores and such. It's fun to see those places in game if I can see them in real life. Story-wise, it is a little bit like, should I say, nonsense about these vampire-like creatures that are weak to sunlight, so you fight them by undressing them, and that's the reason for the wordplay strip in the title. So yeah, it's not a serious story, but at least I find it funny. I get a few nice laughs throughout the game, and stories told in these like visual novel style segments where you simply follow some dialogue and make some choices, and depending on those choices you get different routes and endings. And speaking of the routes, one big new feature in this director's cut is that Kati Räikkönen finally got her own route and ending on the story. She was always she always felt like she was one of the main characters in the game already in the original version, but for some reason she didn't have her own route and ending. Now she finally gets one, and yeah, it is quite special, and it's so funny to me hear some random Finnish words during the dialogue like mahinen and so on. But yeah, no spoilers for the story, so you can enjoy the new route yourself. And otherwise, it is pretty much same game as the original release, so it's not like remaster or anything, it is simply the same game with all the DLC included in here. And speaking of the original release, I find it funny little detail that the cover of the disc is same as the cover art of the original version. I always love little details like that. So yeah, at least I enjoy the game with the real locations and story that isn't serious at all. It's more like this comedy style story, and because the game is rather short, at least I enjoyed playing through the game multiple times to see all the endings and so on. So yeah, funny little game. And next game that was recently recommended for me in comment of my videos, some of my video, and huge thanks for the recommendation. Feel free to recommend me some games, because I would have missed this game completely, because for some reason I feel too lazy these days to follow some news for new game releases, so I completely miss some of the interesting games. But anyway, so Buccanyar, and as you might be able to guess from the title of the game, it's like this naval combat game with ships and so on, but most of your crew is actually cats. You have your main characters, but yeah, the rest of the crew is these cute cats. So quite funny and cute game. And yeah, basics of the game are quite fun, like I enjoy customizing the ships and choosing different parts and collecting new parts and different ships and so on. I enjoy that. I find it fun. The combat itself, it is it is a little bit simple. I would maybe hope a little bit more variety to the combat and mission designs and so on. But yeah, the basics are fun. And also, not only do you customize your ship, you also customize the crew, or I suppose more like manage the crew by hiring new cats at different places around the world, and then managing which cat takes which place in the ship, like because the cats have different skills, and as they spend time on your ship they learn new skills and become better at their old skills and so on. They all have their own personality and different skills, so they are better at something than some other things. So yeah, it is quite fun and cute game, but unfortunately it is, or at least it feels like a little bit like smaller budget title. I believe the price was also lower than normal full-priced games, so it is understandable that it feels a little bit like it does need a little bit like more polishing and so on, for example with the combat system and so on. But I feel like easiest example of the budget feel to it is the English translation. It already has English subtitles, but even for me who isn't native English speaker, it comes off as a little bit weird and hard to understand at some points. So I feel like it definitely needs some proofreading of native English speaker or something, because yeah, the English translations were somewhat weird and hard to understand. But yeah, otherwise basics are fun and story seems interesting. I still need to go back and finish the story. And already at the last game here, the only May release that I have, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, a long-awaited sequel to the Breath of the Wild. And I suppose I must start by saying that I wasn't huge fan of Breath of the Wild when it was originally released, because I suppose it must be the expectations that I had for the game, because I've always been more fan of the more smaller, simple Zelda games like on handheld systems. So I wasn't huge fan of the idea of the game taking this open world route and so on. Especially like, of course I knew it's going to be like this huge open world and so on, but at least I was hoping to see some like, for example, some dungeons that you are so used to seeing Zelda games, but yeah, there really wasn't anything like that in the Breath of the Wild. So I wasn't huge fan of the game at first, but when with time I gave it a second chance and I ended up liking it. And this game, it is pretty much more of the same as Breath of the Wild, and this time because I knew what to expect from the game, I've been enjoying it so much already right from the beginning. So yeah, it's kind of funny how the expectations might make game more enjoyable or less enjoyable depending on how you feel about the game. But yeah, the new tools are quite exciting, like how you can connect things together and build these quite exciting vehicles and so on that you can use to travel and explore the world. And speaking of the world, it's quite fun to see the changes from the previous game, because yeah, the world is mostly same, but there are quite significant changes here and there. And it's not only the surface that you explore this time, you get also the depths and also some structures on the sky and so on. So there's more things to explore. And I feel like the depths, it feels like it's quite exciting and quite different type of environment to explore, but I feel like that part of the game definitely needs some more variety. I was so obsessed of like exploring the entire depths area and unlocking the map and all that, and by the end of it I was so bored of that same environment. I felt like, okay, now I definitely need a little break from the game entirely, because it was so much of the same environment that I was exploring. But yeah, otherwise it's been quite fun. And also those temples, those feel they're not still like the dungeons of old Zelda games, but they are at least closer to it. They are still quite small and simple, but at least they are quite fun to explore. So yeah, I do need to go back to it and at least finish the story, and of course there's so much more to do in the game. So many side quests and places to explore. But yeah, so yeah, I've been enjoying quite a lot. And that's already all the April and May releases that I got. There was one more May release that I've already pre-ordered, but it was delayed by a month, so it's coming out, or at least it should be coming out at the end of June. So yeah, early July should be one unboxing video coming up next. But yeah, I guess that's everything for this video. Thanks for watching and bye!